Ladies and gentlemen, today I bring you a VFL match report between Coburg and Collingwood. The Pies get up by 4 goals in the end, 127 to 103, a shootout for the entirety of the game. And boy, do we have some prospects, both AFL listed and VFL listed, to talk about. The AFL quality, 16 AFL listed players playing today, sort of overwhelmed Coburg in the final quarter. It was neck and neck, and then Collingwood sort of drifted away in the end, and just the quality and the fitness was too much for Coburg to withstand for that final quarter. But let's talk about Will Hoskin-Elliott and Ed Allen first up, and then we'll get to some of those prospects who could either make their AFL debut this season or might find themselves in a mid-season draft at some point. But Will Hoskin-Elliott early on in the game, playing forward, generally speaking, 11 touches, 2 goals, a really good return, and then was taken off, as well as Ed Allen, who had 18 touches to the point. Just 2 kicks and 14 handballs, though. So you'd like that ratio to be a little bit more different. It's something we've spoken about. And I think the fact that he isn't able to break out of contests, he doesn't have that chance or that split second to throw the ball on his foot. But just given the fact that they were taken out early in the game, points to me that they are the 2 players in consideration to play on Friday against the Swans. With there only being 5 days in between, they're sort of just hedging their bets and playing it safe by taking them out of the game. So they seem like the most likely replacements. We're probably looking at Ed Allen coming in. Maybe you throw him as a sub. Ned Long plays in the middle, and then Harry Perriman goes into the back line to fill the void that Dan Houston leaves for a couple of weeks. That seems like the no-brainer to me at this point. And Will Hoskin-Elliott would be right next in line. But Charlie West, what are we talking about with this kid? So he had 12 touches. So that's Charlie Dean. Bear with me. He had 10 disposals, 6 marks, 5 of them contested, and 4 goals won. He is already above the level in the VFL competition. I'm telling you, and I think everyone who watched him today would be able to see, whenever Membry or McStay or Mycheck need to be rested again, or if they fall out of form, I'm telling you, Fly and the panel will not hesitate to throw this guy to the Wolves at AFL level in 2025. He is someone who will certainly feature, I have no doubt. He kicked a couple, maybe even a few in the first round against Sydney, and he's backed that up. So, yeah, he just exudes confidence. He's a dead-eye dick. He doesn't miss. He's strong. Yeah, he's unfazed. And then right along there with him is a VFL listed player in Riley Mason. He had 10 touches, also had 3 contested marks and 5 goals won. Another player who's strong in the air, very tall. I think Riley Mason will be close to 200 centimeters. He's just erupted into the VFL scene. He didn't play any, if at all, VFL last year. He came from one of the local leagues. I'll just follow up on that. But he's also a young key tool that if he continues in this manner, he's going to find himself on an AFL list in the very near future. He's from Seymour. So from Seymour, and he played some Coates Talent League for the Calder Cannons in 2019 and 2021. I imagine in 2020, maybe he had an injury and then played as an overager. He's 2002 born, so he's 23, so he's just growing into his body now, which is what happens with some of these key tools who sort of fall under the radar in their formative years, developing as that key tool that they are. 195 centimeters tall, and he really took the Seymour, playing for Seymour, I can't quite remember what league that is, but he definitely took that by storm and was able to earn an opportunity in the VFL because of that. And it seems to be translating very quickly into the VFL. I think he had 4 goals against Sydney. He's backed it up. He's kicked 5. He's got that confident arrogance as well. He took some big marks in that last quarter. Charlie West, by the way, took a one-handed contested chest mark in that last quarter. And those 2 players were pivotal in creating a little gap in that final quarter. So those 2 players in different respects and different contexts of where they are in their footballing life at the moment, they've got a bit more of a say in where they might be in the next 12 to 24 months. And I'm really looking forward to that. So at the moment, I'm just loving following the VFL simultaneously alongside with the AFL. When you've got 16 AFL listed players and other bullish players who are VFL listed who think they're a chance moving forward, heck, it gives me a reason on a Sunday to watch a really high quality VFL game that was. I mean, 230 points between the 2 sides at a dodgy footy field. It didn't look like the best surface conditions, but yeah, they did their thing. Some positive notes with Finlay McRae returning back after that shoulder injury that he had. He had 24 touches, kicked 2 goals, a nice little snap out of a stoppage in that last quarter to pretty much ice the game. Markov had a nice little celebration after his goal. He played on a wing, for those who are wondering. Lockie Sullivan was just Mr. Consistent out there today. He sort of just carried the team throughout the 4 quarters. He had 28 touches, 8 clearances, 5 tackles, and 10 contested possessions, along with 8 inside 50. So he was everywhere, and he's going to be a player who we'll see probably be in and out of the AFL side and is a fringe player, but when he comes in, he does what he needs to do as that, that bottom 6 sort of group of players who always filter in and out of the side throughout the year. So these players are very important. Ilaru Smith, Oscar Steen, and Mason Cox all had a hand in ruck. Coxie kicked 3 goals in the first half, so he did what he had to do. But Smith and Steen had their colours lowered against Keogh, who was the Coburg Lions ruckman. He was immense. He had, 25 touches, 17 contested possessions. So a monster game there from the man from Coburg. Looking at TJ, he was good. He had 18 touches. He was nice. Jacob Ryan was there as well around the mark. Dimatia on the wing is just the meters gain type of guy. He had a really important last quarter. He had 16 touches, but I imagine at least nearly half of them would have come in that last quarter when it mattered the most. So it was good to see he had that clutch gene in him to really help carry the side. There were a lot of really important individual moments and performances in that last quarter that sort of, culminated in a really clutch and composed team performance that got us the 4 points, now being 2-0 in the VFL. Is there anyone else I want to know? I think I already mentioned that Markov was on the wing playing. Will Hayes had 9 touches and a goal. Just, a connector. And as a small forward, you're not going to have a heap of the ball every game, so that's the way it's going to be. He's showing some really good signs. And Joel Cochran as well. A lot of speed off halfback and is quite composed with the ball in his hand. So just a bunch of players to like and lick your lips at on a week-to-week basis. It's a great problem to have what we have now with both sides being reasonably healthy. You couldn't say that last year. We got that now. And I'm pretty sure as fans we're all stoked with how it's looking right now, as to would the coaches and everyone else in between at the Collingwood Football Club. So that is the VFL match report. The Pies get up 2-0. The VFL State League game is next week, so no Pies footy for VFL. Then we'll be looking at some mid-season draftee prospects that are listed in that State League game between the VFL and the Sample. Go Pies.